All right, folks, welcome in. We've got our final series of the day. So far, the last 5 sets were 3-0s with the favorites winning. So it has been very sweepy so far. Now, don't be too disappointed by that, all you viewers, because usually if there is sweeps in the early stages of a tournament, I find that games get pretty competitive near the later stages of the tournament. I also find that usually that goes the other way around, too. So, like, if a tournament's super competitive early, it then gets very uncompetitive late. I don't have any actual data to back that claim up with, but that's just been my experience. So, hopefully, this just means we've got some really talented players who are unstoppable early, who will meet their match later. Kingstone's really good. In fact, Kingston is the ELO favorite. Kingston is 2660 ELO. Liereyy, the absolute noob that he is 2652. Embarrassing, honestly, to be such low ELO. But yeah, I'm joking. Lierey's an exceptional player. Lierey's one of the best players the game has ever seen. He barely plays the game, and he shows up, and he dominates and gets top 4 in tournaments. Now, he does put in some training. That is all kind of secret because he's not publicly talking about that and stuff, but I know he does put in the work behind the scenes. But it's really not like others in the scene who are maybe oftentimes full-time or putting in full-time hours. Now, I like the build from Liereyy. So this isn't something I'd normally associate with the very best. Most people don't do this, but I'm personally a big fan of this build. You get some wood when you take berries. And if you want those fast up times, you want the fast aggression with scouts, you do this instead of the lumber camp, and then you time your lumber camp later on. This is actually the first time and maybe the only time we will see in the entire tournament mill opening versus mill opening. Because Gurjaras always do it to put the berries in the sheep inside of the mill, and then the Portuguese players done it with the berries. So I think the only time I would see that, again, would be this exact same matchup. But I'd expect scouts here. Kingston will understand that Liereyy is insanely talented, but Kingston is definitely a step up from Lierey's last opponent. But Liereyy is usually like a really good example of how to make the most of every military unit, good balance of military and defense. Not a lot more can be said. Kingston's fairly similar. He's fairly meta, but if anything, Kingston's maybe a little bit more defensive. I don't mind that, though. I think if Kingston tries to play the exact way that Liereyy plays, he will have some issues here. But again, it's like Liereyy is seen as nearly unstoppable in these settings. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Sparksters, for the Prime. Thank you, Exotic. Thank you, Ancient Bolts. He says he started playing the game this week, and he says he's having fun annoying castle dropping people with Spanish on Arena. Well, glad you're having fun. There are people in my chat right now that hate you, but glad you're having fun terrorizing people by dropping castles on people. We've all been there. What is going on in the north here? What on earth is this? This weird little V of trees? And then the cliff? That is super odd. This looks man-made. I think this is evidence that aliens exist. Is this some type of message that when we fly over, we're supposed to read? Like, what? That is odd. That is very odd. Too bad there's not like a relic up there. But that is, yeah, that is not a bug, but not exactly normal. Let's put it that way. This woodline has a nice personality. Liereyy runs into the TC from Kingston. He probably was distracted by the woodline. Let's be real. And Kingston with a clean opening. So both players with the fast uptime. Resources collected, identical for both. I like the map a little bit better for Liereyy. He's closer to the edge of the map. Easier for him to wall up. But he does have to be careful with this villager. Kingston should take every advantage he can get against Liereyy. The thing about Kingston, guys, is he's incredibly inconsistent. And not that he has a massive dip in quality, But he has, like, he made the garrison land, for example, and no one would have predicted that he made that garrison land. I forget exactly who he went through. I think he beat Mihai at some point. Did he also beat Sebastian? Or did somebody else beat Sebastian? I'm forgetting. But he had a crazy run there, but he can't beat those players each and every time, right? I think for him, he has been playing a lot more recently. And so should be pretty sharp. I think so far it's been a really nice opening. He's lost some HP on his scout, has the annoyance of having that wolf attack his spearman right now. Did the wolf just start to attack Kingston now? Did it switch? What? It switched targets? What did Liereyy do? That's super weird. Normally it should keep attacking Liereyy. But Kingston's like, what in the world is that? He should just kill it. It's really weak right now. But he's not going to do so. Lose some HP. And Kingston wants to get those walls down. Bad timing on that because Liereyy is here already. And it looked good for Kingston, but kind of out of nowhere. Starts to have some tiny lapses in concentration. Should be okay. I love the clean opening here from Liereyy. And again, I love his base. If he wants to switch to archers, which is what he's known for, could be a strong position for this. But the walls are coming up from Kingston, to be expected. Walls are coming up here as well. Smooth eco, no damage done. And they'll transition towards Castle H. T90, if you look at that corner, you will see 3 Ls. That is a clear sign that blue will lose 3-0. 3 Ls. L here, L here, and L here. True. And it's closer to Kingston. Well, GG, I guess. I mean, GG, go next. I don't know what else to say. Might as well cancel the series. Guys, imagine being a player and you're doing something really cool, really interesting, and then you show up to the stream expecting us to be like, oh man, look at his build order. Oh, his eco's so clean right now. His walls are perfect. And then we're just like, let's inspect the cliff, shall we? That is me every time I ever play in a tournament. Either Dave's casting me and he's not paying attention to anything good I'm doing. He never pays attention to it. Or Mem's casting me, and the second I do anything remotely horrible, he's like, what is he doing? Oh! It's never like massive praise. That's all I want. Just massive praise for once. Somebody, please. Nilly, come back. Maybe we need Nilly on the casting booth again. Just joking. This game is relatively chill right now. There's not a lot we can really do except make jokes. So, Lierey's got the archers. We'll bring those archers forward. And this will be kind of classic Liereyy style. Playing towards crossbowman timing. Kingston's going to move over to this gold now. Which is probably smart thinking with how exposed this gold is. He does have his own archer range, but no archers on the way. We'll choose to go for skirms. Just that one kill in the game for Liereyy. That's it. And Liereyy sees the spearman. Kingston sees it as well, but not an easy engagement for Kingston to take right now. I think the downside of Lierey's builds is that you kind of run out of berries before you have the amount of farms you want. Oh my goodness, what on earth is that? Liereyy makes a rare mistake there. Could have been worse for him. But the farm count's just at the point where you're probably okay to go up to the next stage. It's still fine, but you have to manage it perfectly. Sometimes you'll end up with like 8 farms, and then you have to put like 15 on wood. You never want that. He's managed it really nicely, though. And Kingston's nowhere near clicking up to Castle Age because he's making a lot more scouts. He's actually making an extra camel, and he's making skirms. So this is big investment. He needs to clear this army if that's the case. He had actually pulled some of his sheep out of the mill, which I like to do as well with Gurjaras, but not everybody does that. I think it really helps you get the food for various things. But He's going to need the food because he doesn't have the berries, and Lierey's going to see those camels. There's 3 camels now for Kingston. Liereyy should maybe think about backing up now. That's big investment. Wait for Castle Age. He's about to click up. Liereyy should be on double. Maybe the rare triple range game for Liereyy. It's not something he normally does. Liereyy will sometimes just play 1 range, and he just out-micros you so well with low numbers and out-booms you, but feels like he's going to need a big army. And right now, he's just trying to escort his units home. Kingston just can't quite get into the position to engage. And Liereyy will fall back to the TC. You can actually sit inside the TC with the archers, which is a really good move, because they'll just instantly fire arrows. And all right, there we go. There's a pick for Kingston. But now you're like, crap. Because now he's on the way to Castle Age. You made a lot of camels. When your opponent's mainly going to have crossbows. Not exactly where you want to be right now. Because you've invested for very little reward. Our base is T90. If you play in the Community Cup, I can get some casters to praise you. See, that's not true, our base. Because I played in the last Titans League Community Cup. And I was being casted by one of the casters, who's one of the chatters here. And the only thing of note that I remember was they were making fun of me because I couldn't double push in 2 deer. All right? I'm up 2-0. I got a nice build. So many good things to say. And it's, oh, T90 can't double push deer. And he brings it up in my chat like once a week. All right? So don't lie to me, R-Base. I know what he's going to say. I'm kidding. There are plenty of good things said. But I definitely held on to that one. And with the way my brain works, anytime I try and double push the deer, I'm like extra motivated to get it done now, just so that my reputation's not affected. Oh man, this is looking rough for Kingston. He loses the Ville, he loses all that additional feudal age army he loses. And the crossbow timing is here for Liereyy. Kingston doesn't have that many skirmishers either. He did choose to stone wall to keep himself safe from this, which is probably a good call, because without a stone wall, this army would probably have broken in anywhere. I'll say this about you guys, chat. Over the course of my, career at this, I have been properly bullied into being better at things. No joke. Like the farm meme, that whole thing started, my farms were genuinely bad. It was really bad in chaotic games, and I got better. Now there's also the auto farm build. So I'm not advocating for bullying, but I'm just saying, in my case, it actually has made me better. So, but yeah, don't bully other people, I guess. Does Kingston have any potential to do any damage here? He sees the Siege Workshop at least. Also, Nikov has said the same. Nikov with the whole eco upgrade meme. Nikov is one of the best players with eco upgrades now. And 5 years ago, he's missing Horse Collar and Double Bit Axe. But he said to me, he's like, it's not even fair. Like, people are saying it when my eco upgrades are good. You just can't escape the memes. The internet never forgets. And credit to Kingston for recognizing he was going to die if he didn't stonewall. But he's got some work to do now. Oh, and he doesn't have fletching. Or sorry, he does have fletching. He doesn't have armor. He doesn't have bodkin. His whole army is just going to get wiped here. His army's not good enough to fight up against Lierey's army. Especially with Lierey's micro. Very good recognition from Liereyy. You have to click the enemy units there and see the upgrades. The Kingston's going to try some Shravamsha Riders here against the Siege and against the crossbows. But as I often like to say, Shravamsha, not a real unit. It's a fake unit. I just don't think they're very good in Castle H. But Siege is pretty strong. And if you can maybe use them to snipe the Siege, that could be good. No ballistics for Liereyy means that he's missing a lot of these volleys. And Kingston will go in. He takes down one mangonel. Liereyy is also 1 TC, and Kingstone with the defense. Not bad. Also will snipe the villagers. So Kingstone has killed more villagers than Liereyy has because he killed both the forward vills. And he is holding. Liereyy will drop the second TC. Interesting how much food Liereyy has right now. Oh, God, his knight went through. His knight has made it in. Lierey's split micro was ridiculous. He'll want the mangonels. He'll get one. The second one's questionable. You can't lose this one if you're Kingstone, though. That needs to be repaired every time. Oh, he tried to repair it, but he clicked... Instead of clicking the mangonel, he clicked the villager onto the knight. He tried to click the mangonel, clicked the knight instead. Mangonel goes down. And yeah, I mean, he lost everything out here. Liereyy just completely obliterated him here in early castle. I mean, you could just tell Kingstone made a lot of extra feudal age army. He didn't get the damage done that he needed. And then he was so scrambled to just keep himself in it with the walls and everything. He missed upgrades. He didn't have the numbers of skirms he needed because he didn't have the time. Then he didn't have the upgrades. It just all snowballs on you so fast. And we might have a lot more of that. We'll see. But like Liereyy looked really confident and really aggressive there. It wasn't his best game either. Like it wasn't his best game as far as micro is concerned. But the key in that game was just feudal age. Kingstone, with how much army he made there, he had to kill Lierey's army. But he wasn't able to chase it down. Liereyy was able to fall all the way back. It was good recognition that he needed to do so. And yeah, GG. Oh my goodness, you're right, guys. Liereyy, we got to change the colors. Lierey's going forward to lame game number 2. So he stomps game number 1. He's going to lame with Vietnamese game number 2. You know where the enemy's TC is, so that's what he's hoping for. Hasn't found anything, though. See if he ends up finding anything here. Kingstone's gone for his number 1 civilization to tie this one up before this gets out of hand. He's gone for the Georgians. I think Vietnamese was a pretty high pick for Liereyy, but Liereyy didn't find anything with the lame. So, no option for him to stick around. So I think he's just going to come on home because he'll want to push in a deer or two, find his own sheep. Liereyy consistently changes his color from game to game. So he opened up the first game, I think, as red. And now he's changed his color to yellow. What color do you think he'll be in game number 3, guys? I'm going to go green. And then, I mean, I made a video on this. Those are his top 3 colors. He might switch to blue if we get a 4th game. I would guess green for the next game. Someone asking, is Doubt playing tonight? No Doubt today. Doubt. So I think Monday's an off day for King of the Desert as well. Doubt will play midweek at some point. I'm not really sure exactly when. A 3 on wood for Liereyy. Really good map. Back gold, back stone, lots of wood lines. This is another map that can be easily walled, but even more so than the previous map. Kingstone's map is also really good, but it's not as easily full wallable just because there's not as much wood over here. But we'll still see lots of army here. We have any weird corners now? I feel like I've switched roles. No weird corners. No weird L's in the corners. Toffine, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, guys. Is there anyone genuinely new here today? If so, say what's up. Say hello. Thanks for making it. I was not expecting so many people watching. Really appreciate it. And shout out to Mem for putting on the event. Means a lot to be casting, have so many people excited, so. Oh, Mr. Burrs is here for the second time. All right, here for the second time. That counts. YouTube viewer for years. Nice. We'll take that. We'll take that. What's up, Keppa? So Twitch tells me when someone messages for the first time, Twitch tells me. I don't know if the chatters see it, but I see it. Kawa says, I am new. Nice. Welcome. Thomas, I'm sorry, man. Thanks for the resub. So sorry you can't get that song unstuck from your head. But yeah, welcome in, everybody. I would expect scouts from Liereyy. He was later to pushing in some deer. And you also don't get the mule cart and the free mule cart at that, like the Georgians do. So the Georgians have the advantage right now. Very clean start for Kingston. I want to see him open offensively here and stay offensive. Last game, it was like he went army, but he wasn't able to sense any value against Liereyy, and I think he just took his foot off the gas because of it. To be fair, Liereyy had a really easy wall. It was hard to punish. Here, it's a bit different. So, I don't think it'll be as what we saw in the previous game, which was more so like army into walls and skirms. I think he should be able to maneuver around Lierey's base a bit more. T90, do you have any data on average age of AoE2 players? I think that the players I don't have, I only have viewers. And obviously viewers doesn't mean they play either. I think there's a lot of people that just watch and they don't play anymore. We talked about this earlier, though. There's a pretty wide range. So anywhere from like 25 to 45, I think, is like 70% of the audience. Do have a fair amount, early 20s still, late teens maybe, but 0.0 something percent of my viewers is below the age of 17. So, yeah, there's not really a younger generation coming through. Their attention spans are... I mean, the Dark Age would probably make their brains shut off. They're like, what? But yeah, we do have quite a few people out there. You guys can maybe say your age if you guys want to share. We do have a pause here. Seems like a standard pause. I don't think there's any bugs. Maybe just a cat on the keyboard or something. Lierey's going to wall up. Should be back here in a second. I won't panic yet. When there's a pause like this, sometimes I panic that the game dropped or something, but it doesn't seem like it. So Twitch has a rule. I think Twitch is an 18+ platform now. And so to anyone who's like joking that they're 12, you maybe shouldn't do that. I still feel bad about this, but somebody was in my chat and they were like, T90, like, what's the youngest viewer you have? It was all caps. T90, what's the youngest viewer you have? Because I'm 12, right? And you could tell this person was 12 by the amount of caps lock they were using and the way their sentences were structured. And they kept saying it, and I was like, I joked. I was like, you're probably fine. Twitch doesn't ban anybody. And he had got banned like an hour later. I don't know how they caught him. So I guess they maybe scrubbed the chat messages. So I'd be careful maybe. I felt so bad. I was like, Twitch doesn't ban anybody. I'm double checking here. Seems like a pause. Seems like a pause. I'm not seeing any issues. Unfortunately, if they're chatting, it doesn't show until after they unpause. So I'll just keep waiting, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't say that stuff because, like, maybe even if you're joking, maybe it'll auto-mod you and then you're banned. So did you call the cops on him? No. I did not do that. Not at all, man. T90, I had a couple Twitch staff confirm that's something they automatically scan for. Well, of course, because I mean, I don't think manually doing that would be really realistic. Some of you guys are crazy. Like, Lil Biscuit is tempting fate right now. I'm telling you, dude, in like 2 hours, you might not have an account anymore. I warned you. You think you're funny right now. That joke is not going to be fun in a moment, so. Undead Phil, thanks for the 26. Sorakulu, thank you for the 18. It's a new account anyways. Oh, so we already banned them for other reasons and they're used to it? Got it. Okay. Can someone double check on someone else's stream to make sure this is paused for me? Just in the off chance that this is like super bugged. To me, it feels like a pause. Okay, so Memb is also paused. There we go. Liereyy said, sorry, some rat kept knocking on my door. All right, so someone's trying to hang out with Liereyy, and he's like, hey, I'm busy right now. So I'm going to assume that wasn't an actual rat. That's probably just what he calls his friends. And we have another pause. Oh, the rat is back. Oh, God. Did it have a little chef's hat on, Liereyy? Little ratatouille action here in Austria. Now Kingstone's got someone at the door, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, we're back. All good. This gave us some time to relax. And you got to go for it if you're Kingstone, because your scout regenerates. Maybe try and get the snipe. Now not, because Liereyy pulls back. But that scout will regenerate that HP, no problem. Does Liereyy know there's a gap down here? Probably knows enough to look for it. But yeah, full walls from him and some scouts. Getting the eco upgrades now. And he will chase Kingstone's scout down while he can. But the berries are exposed on the front. The golden stone and everything in the back will be very, very good for him long term. And Kingstone's going to go scouts into very fast archer follow-up. So he wants to apply pressure quickly. So the weakness on this build that we're seeing right now from Kingstone is your food eco. That's 175 wood for a range. That could be 3 farms. Mule cart, I think that's like 1.5 farms. I don't know the math on it, but you're delaying farms to get fast army out. The key for me is you actually need to have some spears because your opponent's only on scouts. Unless you have fletching on the archers, which is kind of tough this early because that's even more wood into the blacksmith. They could go full scouts against just scout and archer. So you got to keep a close eye on it. It's a really tight build, but it can also surprise and do some damage early. So if it were Liereyy doing this, I'd have all the confidence in the world he'd get it done. But because it's Kingstone, I do have to point it out, it's not easy. We've got house and some palisades here from Liereyy, so he's mostly walled with the exception of the front of his base, like we said. His scouts will move forward. By the way, if there's any Twitch staff that potentially see these people joking that they're, quite young and want to ban them, I think it's important to make clear they're saying what their mental age is, okay? They're saying what their emotional age is. That is a little bit more accurate for some of my chat. Now, their actual age, they're allowed, but, saying that maybe emotionally some of these people are maybe 12, that could be accurate. So just please let them hang around, though. We still value them here. We're going to help them grow up over time. Liereyy sees the scouts. He also sees the archers. So now he has a heads up. And pretty casually going for that range there. I mean, I would probably be building that with a couple more vills. But he has more scouts than Kingstone does. And this is what I said. If you don't have the spear, you can have some problems. There is the spear now. And this could still be fine for Kingstone. He's also trying to wall. So wall, scouts, archers, a lot to manage. Looking pretty good, though. I like how he's walling here. I don't think a full wall this way would be very realistic long term. You want to get your villagers working as quickly as possible. And, oh man, there's not enough spears. And just one mistake, one tiny little mistake, and it all falls apart. The 2 archers die, the spearmen die. And it's the reason I explained the difficulty of the timing. Every time I try and do what Kingstone has done here against scouts, they have 1 or 2 more scouts than me, and they kill those early numbers, and then the game is completely fine for them. And that was really good from Liereyy, though. He just doesn't take bad fights. And now he's got his spear ready. He's got really nice control. And now Kingstone is still going to be making archers. He's committed to this. Lierey's spearmen will be pulled back, and Liereyy could move forward with some skirms if he wishes to. I think Lierey's just going to go the eco route. Like, you have to protect. If you're Kingstone, you have to protect from the fact that he might add more skirms and whatnot. But, like, I think Lierey's just going to greed it out. Skip upgrades. Fast wheelbarrow just came in. That's the Vietnamese bonus. And Just play eco and play towards Castle Age. That's the thing that Liereyy likes to do. Wubnub, welcome back. Thank you. It's a long time. Appreciate it, Wubnub. I'm looking at this username in my chat. This username is Lord Squirrel the Painted. I don't want to make this about me, but did one of my stories motivate you to make that username, or did that just so happen to be the case? I've seen you around chat before, but I never read the full username. It's funny. Yeah, I'd love to guess that person's elo. That username's got mid to low elo written all over it, but I don't know. I wish there were more people with that with those names at high elo. Imagine if Emu Warrior, who is in our chat right now, longtime sub, he's like 2K2, 2K3 right now. Imagine if he makes his way to top 10 in the world. Like, big LAN event. Like, oh, this is so freaking epic. Here we have Emu Warrior. It's funny, dude. I love it. And Lierey's going to click up. He made 3 skirms in the range. He did not make a lot more than that. Kingston, of course, doesn't know that. And he'll bring his scouts home to protect. Kingston, good eco balance. Kingston will also be on the way up at a really solid time. And he'll be up now. So both 23 seconds of TC idle time. Kingston with more vills just because he didn't research wheelbarrow, but wheelbarrow being in is obviously very good for Liereyy. Lierey's eco's interesting to me right now because he's got a lot of gold and he's playing skirms. So I'm going to assume he's not going to play elite skirm. He's going to play cav archers instead. Still though, 10 on gold with 400 gold in the bank. I would probably shift 3 or 4 villagers over to wood. Kind of inspecting Lierey's eco right now to see what he's doing. Fletching is in for Liereyy. Fletching's not in for Kingston. And Liereyy will be happy to kill off a couple archers here. And to toss away his skirms. Because when you're going cav archers, you're worried about crossbow timing. It's greedy to skip out on going elite skirm here. Because if he played double range crossbow, you'd have issues. But now at this point, you both just trade ranged armies. But in Kingston's case, this should tell him what's coming, right? There's no way Lierey's going to make more skirms. If he sees the second range, it should be cav archers. And then he can play skirms to defend from that, possibly. T90, it is motivated by that. My username before was please stop painting squirrels. Okay. Yeah, man, get to high elo. It'll be fun to cast you. Ooh, Kingston running through the town center just to get some vision on what's happening here. The scout's weak, obviously. And we'll see the TC there. This would be a really interesting spot for a siege push. If you ever want to go for it, because you can range over top of that wood line. You also saw the second range. And yeah, it'll be cav archers from the Vietnamese. So it says they're an archer civ. I think, like, theme-wise, you'd think they're a foot archer civ, but because the archers have... all archers have more HP, it applies to their cav archers, so their cav archers are some of the best in the game. Lierey's knight went back to kill the scout. Now his cav archers move forward, and he'll see the skirms, so he knows Kingston will go skirms. This is just a boom game, guys. Second TC for Kingston. Second TC... third TC for Kingston, sorry. But for Liereyy, he's going to go for a little bit more army investment. He's going for the siege workshop now. The second you see skirms, that makes a lot of sense. The knight's just not able to stay around these town centers, so one knight's good, but a lot of knights not so good. And Liereyy will also go 3 TCs. All right. Well, I'm curious how Kingston manages all of this. Because he's late to elite skirm. He's not under any crazy pressure right now, but managing 3 town center economy while also getting siege pushed by Liereyy is going to be tricky. It's definitely advantage for Liereyy right now. Could consider getting some relics as well if you're Liereyy. But I think when the Siege Workshop's pretty expensive, you're still going to need farms and just a lot of wood spend right now. So I would say that probably just Siege for the time being. Getting relics, even for Liereyy, is just adding one more complicated thing into the game. And there will be scouts around for Kingstone to look for that. But Kingstone with the 5-villager lead. And Kingstone will be happy with that. The scouts just double-checking to see what Lierey's doing as well. This is so good, guys. This is something you can all learn from. I know it's hard to perform like players at this level, but just occasionally sending one unit out to see the front of their base, to see the middle of the map is so good. And you can let that unit die. Kingstone won't, but one unit dying for information is usually worth it. I guess you do have to be able to use the information. So it depends on your level, but you should ultimately, that should be the goal. I think some of you guys would maybe be like, just because people do random stuff at mid ranks, maybe you're like trying to make an informed decision on a Siege Workshop and then the guy never makes Siege or something. Could see that happening. Defensive Siege Workshop from Kingstone. Liereyy loses a Vill that he wants to bring forward to repair. And Kingstone's playing really solid. This is how Kingstone likes to play Arabia. Just boom. Game is dead even right now. Both players are on stone. Liereyy sending more and more to stone. Which tells me he'll want a castle. And oh! He's got to be careful here. He's got to be really careful here. He loses his mangonel. That will annoy Liereyy because he wanted the repairs, but he gets the snipe. And that would annoy Kingstone. Kingstone almost got away with one there. Man, Lierey's Cav Archer micro there was crazy. That was, like, the little sidestep as he runs into the skirm volleys last second was ridiculous. Just so good. Liereyy always places some of the most efficient farms as well. Like, you'll always see him farming around every single town center because that's another farm drop-off point. He's still only working off of that initial mill. Every TC, he'll just pull individual farmers from each one. So good. So smooth. And Kingstone's doing a good job as well. But, you know, he adds another mill back there. This is a bit more standard. The siege is still going to be a problem for Kingstone skirmishers. Just thinking about castle positions, I feel like this hill could be a game changer, but it's risky. Neither player has ballistics, so the range units will still miss, but ballistics comes in for Kingstone as I say that. Liereyy will find out as he tries to dodge that that's the case. Yeah, he'll know now. That won't be a surprise to him anymore, but it'll probably change the way he's microing. Still nice pick-off from Kingstone. Kingstone, I mean, he's a big underdog here. Lierey's seen as one of the favorites for the whole tournament. So he's got to win this game here. Nice shot. Liereyy returns the favor. 1 for 1. But still, that's acceptable for Kingstone when you're close to your base. He'll dive with the Knights. Liereyy boxes out the Knights with the Cav Archers. It ends up losing it anyways. And he's still running in towards those skirmishers. Which is crazy. Dude, Lierey's no ballistics versus ballistics. And against skirms with full upgrades. And he runs towards that. Gets away with no losses. That is not normal. Check him PC. Yeah, microing on the front. Crazy micro on the front from Liereyy. I mean, come on, dude. This is fully armored, full attack skirmishers. That is not what you should do. And now he's going to mix in a couple Knights here. He's bringing the Vills. This is still risky, though. This is still super risky. I don't know about this. Kingstone's got to the hill. Kingstone can now see this, too, so he knows what that means. And he's going to bring his own Vills. Oh, God, man. It's going to be a castle for both. Micro matters big time. The monk there for Kingstone will go for the knight. Kingstone loses the monk. The siege from Liereyy gets the hits. This is so bad for Kingstone. No. Liereyy will win the fight. The couple knights here make the difference. He kills the knight there, too. Keeps his mangonels alive. There is a conversion, but it's not enough for Kingstone, and the castle is going to go up for Liereyy. Just micro difference. The macro's been similar. The strategy's been similar, but just better value from the fights. Castle in the face. Lierey's going to click up to Imp here. He didn't have a second building. So with no university this game and just the Siege Workshop, he couldn't click up yet. I actually fully agree with what Kingston just tried to do, by the way. He didn't know about knights. He has ballistics and skirms and his own siege and some monks. Like, I don't think it was a mistake for him to try and take that hill. Against a different player, Kingston always wins that fight and gets the castle up, defends the front of his base. Now that he's lost the front of his base, look how hard the game is. So I like that decision. You need your castles to be on hills, ideally. The nice thing for him is that he's up to imp faster. The bad thing for him is he needs a good castle position. I would say just building it behind your TC here would make sense, just to get the initial trebs out. But he's thinking about scalability, and in these situations, having bombard cannons is huge. Vietnamese do, Georgians do not. So he's going to be creative with this castle. Liereyy still dancing, still moving those cav archers, still avoiding all the shots. Why even research ballistics against this guy? Ballistics feels like a scam right now. Liereyy will have ballistics himself, and he will lose that knight. But he took down the TC. Not the imp TC. And he doesn't see this castle. Rats and archers are even better against skirmishers than the cav archers are. It's the same issue we saw player in the game earlier, Sizcon. You're having to play full skirm with Georgians. It's not what you want. Liereyy just seems so inevitable right now with these two forward castles. And rats and archers, bombard cannons. He can go for elephants if he wants. Probably will just be light cav. Maybe even Imperial skirm could be a good option. But Kingston is up. He's getting raided on the back. He's had to build churches to defend because he doesn't have the army here. His skirms are still busy on the front. It's just so tough to keep up with Liereyy, man. If you don't defend the front of your base, maybe that castle doesn't go up. Oh, God. But Lierey's getting raided on the left side. He has no clue about this castle. The Manaspa are killing a lot of villagers. Lierey's clearly not noticing that. He will go for trebs. Did he see the castle yet? Okay, he does now. But, I mean, the Manaspa are still getting lots of damage here. First big misstep from Liereyy the whole series. He just doesn't notice this. And now the skirms are kind of cutting this off too? I mean, that's 15 villagers that essentially died because he did not know about this castle. Lierey's going to just ignore this castle and push deep into Kingston's base. He already took down one TC, so he'll take down more. There's not a lot from Liereyy to deal with this skirmisher counterattack. It seems weird, but he doesn't have any real upgraded cav available just yet, because I think he's saving for elite rats and archer. But then Kingston doesn't have easy defense for the rats and archers. So he's losing a TC. Kingston will try Cavalier now. He's also attempting to take down Lierey's castle here. And Lierey's using his own trebs, and he's making bombard cannons now to treb down Kingston. And Kingston has to back up. Which means all this is still happening. The skirmishers are raiding on this side from Kingston. Well played. Really well played. We'll have a couple elephants from Liereyy just to push back those skirms. That's probably good. 1 or 2 elephants can do the job. That's really nice value. My worry for Kingston is his eco just got wrecked. It just got really inefficient. And he doesn't have bombard cannons. And I also don't know if skirms are enough against elite rats and archers. I don't think they are. Liereyy will take the treb from Kingston. Kingston lost track of that. There's also trebs here from Kingston. Kingston losing track of that. Lierey's back here with cav archers. Lierey's also saving his trebs. Everything is going so good for Liereyy right now. And it's a struggle to find any positives for poor Kingston. Cavalier are going to have to work. It's going to have to hit really hard here. But he's still 60 seconds away from the armor upgrades. He's going to lose his castle. He's going to get housed after he loses his castle. And I mean, it's just looking bad. It's just looking bad for Kingston. There will be more castles for Liereyy. Okay, he'll lose a Treb, Liereyy. Or will he? Will he lose a Treb? Kingston's microing the Cavalier. Okay, so the Treb goes down. But Cavalier are not cheap. Castles are not cheap either. You can't exactly lose 12 villagers and be happy about it. And skirmishers do not counter fully upgraded elite rats and archers. Not these skirmishers anyways. Maybe Lithuanian skirmishers have a chance. Or Dravidian skirmishers might have a chance. Or Aztec skirmishers might have a chance. But the pierce armor is just so high. It's 10 pierce armor. And free conscription is maybe not the most exciting upgrade ever. But it's really nice for Vietnamese. Because you can just produce military so quickly. Yeah, 8 stables behind for Liereyy. So he'll have that in front of the rats and archers as well. Outposts around the map for Liereyy to see the extra gold. Does really need to reclaim the south right now. Does need to think about getting some relics. But it might be beyond that point. I think this army, he can patrol, not look at his army, and go AFK, and we might even see the GG. I mean, he is microing a little bit, but do you even have to? They're just so good. It's such a good unit. Yep, just kills it all. Every skirm goes down. The Cavalier with full armor go down. All the production's here too, so it's all getting trebbed. And honestly, just a solid game from Kingston, but it came down to those tiny moments and getting this castle. And also, I think some slight differences between the civilizations, but that was just still so crazy. There's so many mid-game engagements where, like, Liereyy is out-teched. He's out-teched and outmanned, and he's microing away from these shots and away from these armies and getting value. It was so good. It was perfect timing on that castle. If Kingston takes a better fight there and gets the castle there, then the rest of the game flows very differently, right? He probably never places this castle. He never has... He feels like he has a little bit more time and space to expand, but it was just such a big pressure moment that led to him losing a TC, led to him being trebbed. Lierey's just so good, man. He's playing really confident as well. Yeah, there's the rest collected. I'll bring up a conversation I had with Doubt one time. Talking to Doubt in the Shisha bar at one point at a LAN event. And he was just saying he's like, there's certain players, he's talking about Liereyy or Hera or Viper. They changed the rules of the game, right? It's like, it's a strategy game. It should be like, this strategy beats this strategy, this unit beats this unit, this position beats that position. But if someone can control their units in a way that changes the way these fights normally take place, they then can get away with more greed and get away with more decisions or get away with a better position, right? So Doubt was just saying, Doubt's like, in this sense, he was like, I need a strategy that's so crazy different. And even still, he's like, I can have better strategy and I can lose. Because certain players are just so good. And that's what I think of when I see Liereyy play. Like that game, crazy. Just crazy good. Guys, we were right. Liereyy went for green. Congratulations. Game 3. Game number 3. Lierey's playing as the Tatars in the red. And immediately when I see Tatars, I look for hills. So, looking to see how many little hills are out here. Tatars have that hill bonus. And so Liereyy will be looking to use that. There's quite a few of them. There's an annoying amount of little hills here, which can be good for Liereyy and his micro. Kingston's gone for the Byzantines. I think Liereyy, I think Kingston's gone for a good choice against Liereyy because you're going to need to make more units to beat Liereyy. And here you at least have your units cheaper with spears and skirms. So, we'll probably push in the deer here. Dave Hunt in chat says Liereyy always wins on macro pretty much. Yeah, but the micro sets up the macro, right? Good micro used to be like good micro can win games and they just win the fight and then it's over. But good micro, you win a fight, so your opponent then has to make more army to stabilize, and you don't need to make that additional step, and you can then boom. So, I mean, they're all tied together. They're all tied together. Micro and macro. Lierey's, it does an amazing job at it. Makes it look super easy. Kingstone's playing at an insane level. Nikov in chats is finally a good civ for Kingstone because I hated his draft. Really? Okay. I've been surprised at how high people have been rating Gurjara's. The Gurjara's second pick, I'm not the biggest fan of. The more I watch Georgians, the more I'm not sure Georgians are necessarily a first pick for me, but that could just be experience from watching favorites beat them. But yeah, Gurjara's second, I would never do. That's for sure. But yeah, and agreed with you, Nikov. The map difference was huge in game number 1, so how much of that was Gurjara's and how much of that was being against Portuguese in that map? Map here's pretty even, I'd say. Seems very even. Wall potential for both. Army control will be needed. But I'm curious how Kingstone chooses to play this, because the real crazy way to play with Byzantines would be a forward. But Kingstone's not really a forward-style player. Kingstone likes to play with walls at home. So I wouldn't expect him to try and find the berries, for example. This would be an awesome spot. If this was a certain player, if this was like, I don't know, Bad Koala, who I don't think played in this tournament, is a Chinese player, loves to forward. Duduju, another player who likes to forward. Maybe even like Vivi. I guess I did just mention all 3 Chinese players. There's quite Gabi from Brazil, like people who love their super aggressive, messy styles. Yeah, maybe that hill would be perfect. Yeah, Stray Dog as well. I think, I could be wrong, but I think the reason why there's quite a few players from China who have that messy style ingrained into them is because of the years of the high ping games, right? Like, it's still higher ping now because we have servers. But back when it was peer-to-peer, lag is way higher, and the messy styles have a tendency to really mess you up in that. Whereas in the low ping games, you're able to manage things a little bit more, so I could be very wrong with that claim, but that would be my guess. Because I could tell you as a player, the higher the ping, the harder it is to manage against some type of forward. So I blame Fat Dragon TBH. Yeah, I mean, Vivi, but Vivi was at his peak when the ping was at its highest. But yeah, Vivi's probably a big tendency. But Vivi's just the most... Vivi and Lix are the most well-known for that, but Stray Dog and Bad Koala have been doing that crap for a really long time. You want to hear another... This is a worse theory of mine. I've joked because of, like, us having 2 top 10 Norwegian players and the amount of people who are, like, good from certain countries. I've joked that the more extreme the weather is in a certain place, the better the player. Right? Like, somewhere it gets really freaking stinking hot, you never want to be outside, you're inside playing games all day. Right? Somewhere it gets super cold and dark, Finland and Norway, inside playing games all day. Look at Canada. Canada's got Slam, Hera, they got all these guys. USA, we've just got Daniel. It's because there's too much snow up there, man. That's what it is. It must be the snow. Again, stupid theory. But I don't know. Maybe part of it's true. Crazy amount of high-level players from Finland, for example, considering their population. Finland's got a lot of 2K plus players, a lot more than people realize. The scouts find each other here. Man-at-arm opening for Liereyy with Tatars. Not something you see every day. And Liereyy... Ooh, had to be really careful there. Kingstone will see this. So he's kind of partially walled, right? He went for the full wall adaptation here, but then he couldn't get that down in time on this side. A lot of the areas around the map are covered in hills, but nice walling so far from Kingston. He's just going to make skirms. T90, you're from Pennsylvania. Should be great at the game then. Let's leave me out of this, please. Okay, let's leave me out of this. Any evidence that you give that takes away from my theory does not count. Oh god, man-at-arms are here. Liereyy blocking. No way he gets this kill. Life would not be fair if he got that kill. We've got our skirms, guys, and we've got an archer follow-up from Liereyy, but archer follow-up against lots and lots of skirms doesn't exactly scale extremely well. I think this is not a bad spot for Kingston to be in. Liereyy will be happy that he's at least delayed Kingston so far. This is a good example, though. Let's see how much value Liereyy can get from this position. Because this should be... The Byzantine game plan is just do not die to the opening. Mass skirms or spears, whatever you need. He's on skirm, that's perfect. His eco's looking pretty sharp. He is missing double bit, I guess. We'll see if Liereyy can actually get value here. T90, new theory. No pros from sunny places with beaches because sand is bad for computers. I mean, Brazil's got a lot of places with good players have beaches. I also live in Florida, so that makes me look bad. I think the only thing Liereyy could do is do damage behind the wood line here. And Lierey's scout's still running around. I don't know if he assumes this is fully walled. It's not actually fully walled yet, but it's about to be. And so now Liereyy still being chased on the back. The archers are running through. Yeah, Lierey's, for once, maybe in a worse position here, guys. It's just a big thing that Kingston hasn't gotten double bid axe. That might be something he clicked and he assumes he has the upgrade right now. Yeah, Liereyy knows. Lierey's like, this is going to be a big problem for me if I stay in feudal age, so he will attempt to all in this. Doubt style here. Goes for the market, sells the stone, buys some food. He'll still aim for crossbow timing. He just wants crossbow before these become elite skirms. Stripe says T90. As a Canadian, I can confirm. We have too much snow to do anything but video games. Okay, Stripe. Follow-up question. What's your elo, my friend? Well, how's that? Is that translated to you being a beast? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not trying to make him feel bad. Not trying to make him feel bad. 900, lol. Okay, well. Sorry for asking. Sorry for asking. Theory ruined. Oh no. Theory's been ruined. Kingston. I wonder if he'll see the score dip here. Watch the score for a second. Just keep an eye on that score for me. Bottom right, okay? So he's behind 200 score, and that's mainly scouting. But now it's really close. That would tell me that Liereyy clicked up. Now, it's more obvious if you go from being bottom score to top score. That little change makes it more clear, but... Build Disorder says, T90, thanks for a fun stream today. This was a good one. Hey, we're not finished yet. But you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. Thank you. Guys, Lierey's eco is at the limit. It is at the absolute limit right now. Every unit is so valuable. He's got his 8 archers sneaking a long way around to eventually hit this wood line. This villager's got a death wish. I don't know where she's headed. But maybe it's intentional? I think he was looking for a hole in the wall. Maybe he wants a siege push over here. The fact that she's still moving this way tells me this is intentional. That villa's looping the long way around. I'll see you guys in the Imperial Age for her. She's got a cliff to go by, the golds, couple hills, couple camels, couple wolves. But yeah, Liereyy will have crossbow and bodkin for 2 full minutes. before elite skirm is completed for Kingston. Does Kingston sense any of this? He's thinking about where he's vulnerable. So he's got a spearman looking for archers here. He's going to go behind this wood line now. Look for the archers here. He does not know where that army is. He just knows it's coming. Liereyy will get his upgrades. Here comes our Vil. He'll walk through. Kingston should have a heads up because he's Byzantines. And the army's already here attacking the wall. You want to go attack that, but the second you get close, Lierey's going to chew up your skirms now. So you need to run to the side to get close. Yeah, Liereyy is thumb ring as well. Tatars with free thumb ring. There's the villager with the siege workshop on the front. You feel like you have to stop that. But also you might need to protect if Vils come in. Lierey's making this really difficult. He's actually diving in close to the skirms. He wants to kill the skirms before they're elite. Skirms have the minimum range, and the firing speed from these crossbows is crazy. Liereyy just cutthroat timings here. He will kill off every single skirmisher. So much for skirmishers being the play now. To be fair, though, there's not a lot of crossbows either. But still, that's amazing value. And while the knight can kill the siege isn't going to hop out if that knight is there. And Liereyy can just switch into monks as well. Yeah, that knight won't be enough. That was a good fight from Liereyy. This game is maybe not 10 times, twice as hard if elite skirm is out in the map. Free thumb ring is really, really strong in Lierey's hands. I like this from Kingston, though. I mean, he hasn't taken losses. His civ still has discounts and vision at play. And he's hoping to pick off reinforcements. All these crossbows are going forward one by one, and the knights can find value there. But it's a lot to pay attention to when you also need to look at your wood line. And look, see that? Misses it. Because Liereyy moves to the side, because he can notice it, and he was also pestering the wood line. Now, if there's a hole, it could be a game-ending move, but there's no hole there. And Lierey's now going to gain this hill. That hill's huge. With the Tatars, buildings are going to melt so fast here. And Lierey's will go for the siege workshop. Main thing your opponent's going to defend with is siege. Taking down that siege workshop is a good decision. And Lierey's micro is just so good there, man. That is insane. That is insane. Before it was Liereyy micro when he was on multiple TCs. Now it's Liereyy micro. Oh, God. Now it's Liereyy micro when he's on one TC. And he gets the kill. He's got the monk. Can he get the conversion? He will get the conversion. He does lose his mangonel. He doesn't get the next conversion. Still microing here. And he still gets the kill. He's just too good. He's just too good. The timing attacks is just crazy, man. This siege workshop for Kingston needs to stay up. He needs to focus down this weak mangonel. Because that's the only one you can one-shot up the hill. That's a good move. Knight gets deleted. Liereyy really should be repairing with that forward Vil. Knights are a desperation move from Kingston. But with monks around, he can't get close to engage easily. And Liereyy knows exactly what's happening here. He saw the repair villagers and wants to snipe them with the crossbows. And his knight will now run around to help. Skirms loop around. Siege is about to hop out for Kingston. He needs that mangonel. He gets it. Liereyy takes down the siege workshop. Liereyy saving his mangonels. Kingston saving his knights. Kingston loses all of his skirms, though. Really important for Liereyy to get the repairs. It's crazy he's not going for the repairs. Loses his mangonel because of it. Now, eventually you can buy the stone back and you can build this Ekid TC. That's something that Kingston's done and he's still holding on. Okay, well there, as I say it, he does it. But this is some crazy damage that can just take out the rest of Kingston's base. This is Kingston's only defensive siege now. So unless he makes another siege workshop, he's in trouble, and he'll make it here. That's a huge position because it's at least on the hill. Just non-stop micro. Kingstone's done well here. He's done well. Does take the repair villager finally. And does land a big shot. So this will be tougher for Liereyy once he sees this siege workshop. To push up the hill, it's a completely different story. One big shot from Kingstone now, he could take out the whole army. I think Liereyy will move around this way. I think he just focuses the TC. I don't think he wants to leave the hill. Should also be a villager coming forward. Usually that's the case. 1 for 1. There he is, I think. Somebody's going to come forward, but he's just going to drop the TC now. We saw this from MBL as well. Just like using those hills and never leaving the hills, especially when you're Tatars, is so important. But you can't range the TC while still standing on the hill. Kingstone has actually played so good against this, man. It's great, just crazy pressure. We never look at any of the eco. It's just always the fights. 5 mangonels about to be on his TC. He does get the snipe. Can he get another one? He gets a hit there. The knights come over from the side. It's good micro. Liereyy actually blocked the knights. He blocked the knights for a second there. But he loses a mangonel. He loses his crossbows. Still ends up benefiting. Ooh. Mangonel goes down underneath the TC fire for Kingstone. So painful. This will be 3 TC booming now for Liereyy. So even Liereyy will have worse micro. Loses more crossbows. Army is getting real fragile over here now for Liereyy. But he's got villagers on stone. He's adding farms. He's getting eco upgrades. And Kingstone doesn't have a ton either. Nice micro from Kingstone. Really nice micro from Kingstone. And the villagers there. Can he take the mangonel with the Vill? That's worth it. Kingstone holds. 60 villagers for Kingstone. 8 military for both. Ridiculous hold. Especially considering this is after he's lost the first 2 games. And now we might have this game go into Imp. Beautiful job from Kingstone. The game-saving move for me was this position on the Siege Workshop. It made Liereyy reposition, and the random knights still making Liereyy work was great. I mean, he did a lot considering he lost his Siege Workshop and he lost his stable. Another big shot from Kingstone. Let's go. Let's go. And now you should always camp this hill. You do not allow Liereyy to advance up the hill with that hill bonus. Not sure you can really push this yet. But yeah, be careful with that. Liereyy microing the siege. Liereyy microing the monks. I think Tatars do not get redemption. Yeah, they can't convert siege. So monks aren't the biggest deal. Lierey's economy is way ahead, though. Maybe way ahead's not the way to say it. 1-for-1 trade. It's just ahead. Because it's 3 TCs versus 2, and he's ahead in Vills. Eco upgrades are similar. Crazy micro there. It's just not fair, dude. It's just not fair. Like, even that attack round was sick. And now the crossbows are in on the wood line. See if Kingstone can get some army over here now to deal with this. Wonder what Lierey's army comp is going to be. I actually think he should go Keshik. So if you watched my patch review, I talked about how I didn't think Keshiks needed to be buffed. I think Keshik is already a really good unit. But it's just the flow of the game that makes it awkward to go to Keshik instead of Cav Archers or Lancers or something. There's no better state for Liereyy to try Keshik. A nice crossbow raids. Liereyy kills more Vills. Liereyy up 12 Vills. Lierey's monks against scouts. He loses them. And he kind of killed his own monk there. So, it's okay. Liereyy, Kingstone just killed his own mangonel. So a bit of friendly fire to confuse the stats. Will Liereyy believe in Keshik? This is more of a castle drop imp timing than anything. 84 Vills imp. I think it's an insane unit here. Now, Byzantines can make camels, so Byzantines with cheap camels can definitely deal with it. Byzantines can kind of deal with everything, though. And Kingstone's going to finally put an end to this. Maybe ram this area down. Lierey's on the way up. Lierey's still making some crossbows, so I really don't know what his thinking is. Surely a couple cav units would be on the mind against some skirms. Kingston is not on the way to Imp. Like we said, it is cheaper for him to get there, but his eco is not looking very efficient and very balanced compared to Liereyy. And we do have a Keshik sighting. Can someone tell me the buff? I think they buffed the HP, and they also made Elite super cheap. I don't know. I think it was both of those things. So it was a double buff. It was a patch of double buffs on things that yeah. That wasn't all double buffs, but... So before Bloodlines, you get 120 HP. So you have 140 HP in Castle Age. Elite adds HP and whatnot, of course, and Elite is cheap. This will be very strong. You also receive a little bit of gold income when you fight with this unit. Yeah, I think the devs... I think they were looking at the stats, and the Keshiks were not made that frequently, so they wanted to incentivize it a little bit more. It's a very strong unit, especially now. Lierey's crossbow kills a monk. Crazy value. Kingston saw the Keshiks, so he knows about that. He'll make some camels now. Liereyy will try and keep this monastery alive, just to keep that relic. 2 relics, actually. Okay. Kingston wants a conversion, which he will not get. And Lierey's up. Lierey's up. He also wants a castle here. Kingston 2 minutes away from Imp now. Nice job from Kingston to snipe the monk. Here Kingston lost his camel. And here Kingston lost his rams. And here Kingston is losing his skirms. Liereyy is going to start to pull him apart right now with mobility and fight in different areas. Castle was slowed down here. That'll still go up. Kingston quick walling like a madman to keep the Keshiks out. Feel like this monk's rather important right now. Mangonel gets sniped. That monk will die. He dies instantly. And the army can just run away. Now, eventually, you can go Cav Archers as well if you're Liereyy. Normally, I'd say you can't do both, but I think with the Elite upgrade being so cheap, you could definitely get to both. I'm wondering how this unit performs against camels with these upgrades. Units kind of got stuck there, but there's no upgrades for Kingston, so I feel like the Keshiks would win. And guys, this whole area, the base is still wide open from the raids earlier, from the attacks earlier. Lierey's also going to switch to Halbs because he sees the camels. Lierey's in Imp. Kingston's now made it to Imp. Liereyy feels like he can do no wrong right now, but that is not going to work, my friends. But maybe it will, because he sees the castle from Kingston. Really just needs to make trebs from his own castle here. Wow, Kingston walled this out. I thought those units were going to be in. Kingston walled that out. Well played. He is Byzantines. And Liereyy still hasn't made a treb against that castle yet. Lierey's going to make another castle down here. What would you prefer to have? Saracen Pikeman or Tatar Halb, chat? If you had to choose between the two of them. Because I know my answer. I'd go Halb all day. That bonus damage increase is sick. They might only get 1 armor upgrade, and that's kind of sad. But the bonus damage increase is great. Even though Saracens, I guess, would get like full blacksmith upgrades. Yeah, definitely got to go with Halb all day. So it's maybe a little bit weird, but it's a good play for Liereyy. It's still a really high-value unit against camels. He takes the fight here. These are not elite Keshiks yet, but he's got good blacksmith upgrades. Feels like that fight's decent. Still never made trebs from over here, though. I don't know about that. The no armor upgrades means against skirms, against TCs, against castle fire. It's a problem. Liereyy maybe feels like the score is telling him his eco so far ahead he could be fine, but if he wants to play unique unit, he's going to need his castles. Losing this castle is not a good sign. It's a good sign he got 3 relics. He did also move the relics back home. So, not actually seeing a lot of the other relics, though. I'm seeing 1? Oh, 2. Okay, so there's only 5. Liereyy 60 on food right now. You know what unit Liereyy should make against these camels right now? That he will never make? And I have a very distinct old memory of when he also didn't make this unit years and years and years ago. Flaming camels. You can make them from a siege workshop now, and they do crazy bonus damage against camel. It's weird that you make them from a siege workshop, but that's how it's balanced. He's never gonna do it. Could also get the unique tech, Tumourid Siegecraft. Oh, you need to get that first before you unlock flaming camels, and that gives your trebs extra range. I still find that really weird. You get like a treb tech that also gives you a flaming camel later. Or wait, no, you don't need to get that anymore, right? You just get it automatically after chemistry, or is it imp? Yeah, they've changed that. Big fight. That's a lot of halbs. Not so many skirms. Not so many skirms. The castle fire's helping. The skirms are gone. The camels aren't heavy yet. And the eco for Liereyy is just so good. He's getting so many kills here. Most of the camels are gone. He's repairing his trebs. And the Byzantine castle is going down. And Liereyy showing us in game 3 it doesn't have to be with a crossbow timing only. It can be anything. The elite KotD6 are very strong. How decision was spot on. Many people would have considered cav archers here, which could have been tough. He's just too good, man. He's just too good. And while the KotD6 are really, really, really strong, I think arguably overpowered, these camels didn't have enough upgrades to really give us a fair test. Lierey's just not made it a fair fight. He's just one of the best in the world. One of the best in the world. One of the best to ever do it. And he's moving on to the round of 16 to face some unlucky individual. I don't know who that is yet. But it'll be a step up from Kingstone. That's how it works. But yeah, GG. Damn. I mean, guys, like what he did in early Castle Age was crazy. What he's able to do behind that push is crazy. Byzantines have all the bonuses. Tatars can feel very awkward to play in the mid game. And he's just so good. He's just so good. He's just a step up. There's like maybe 2 players on the planet that I think can give Liereyy problems, and Kingstone is not one of them. So, GG, well played to Liereyy. Liereyy speed runs another series. We've had 6 straight sets in King of the Desert 6 with the 3-0 scoreline. The favorites have been ready to go. Of course, there's not as much. I love Arabia, but you know there isn't as much like surprise strategy available. A lot of that's just purely execution, and so it makes sense with that in mind that maybe there'd be less upsets. Well played to Liereyy.